Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. I bet some of you listening have felt that frustration, where you're working hard, but real wealth just feels out of reach.
Yeah.
Almost like the system is rigged against you.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
It definitely does.
So what we're exploring today might totally change how you think about making money.
For sure.
The source material that we dug into this week basically throws out the old job equals money idea. And says the real key is solving problems.
It really is a fascinating shift in perspective.
Isn't it?
The source challenges that deeply ingrained belief we've all been taught, go to school, get a good job, and you'll be set.
Yeah, they totally call out that myth.
Yes.
They even break down the math to show you just how limited that thinking is.
Yeah.
If you're earning $20 an hour working a typical 40-hour week,
Right.
it would take you almost 24 years to hit $1 million.
Wow.
And that's not even factoring in taxes or, actually living your life.
Right. That's the thing. Most people never stop to do that calculation. They don't fully grasp the limitations of trading time for money. And that's where this whole idea of problem solving gets really interesting.
Right, because folks like Oprah and Jeff Bezos, they didn't just climb some corporate ladder.
Right.
They became billionaires by solving problems.
Yes.
Huge E problems that millions of people were facing.
Exactly. And the source makes this point about Oprah.
Okay.
She didn't start out as a media mogul.
Right.
She tapped into this huge unmet need for connection and authentic conversation, especially among women.
Yeah.
She saw a problem and built a platform to solve it.
This part blew my mind.
Really?
It never occurred to me to think about it like that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about trading hours for dollars, it's about the value you're providing.
Yes.
The source uses this example of a cleaner versus an accountant.
Okay.
A cleaner works incredibly hard,
Yeah.
but their pay is usually way lower than an accountant who might be sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It all comes down to perceived value in the market. The cleaner's service, while absolutely essential, is seen as more replaceable.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who can clean.
Okay.
An accountant, on the other hand, is potentially saving people or businesses thousands in taxes. So their perceived value and therefore their earning potential is much higher.
Okay, hold up. I'm feeling a bit called out here.
Oh.
As someone who spends most of their day typing this whole perceived value thing is making me reevaluate my life choices. But how do we even figure out what's valuable to the market in the first place?
That's a great question.
What did the source have to say about that?
Well, they actually had this awesome anecdote about a guy who started a business by solving a problem in his own neighborhood.
Oh, really?
He noticed everyone was struggling to find parking. And he was like, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
People are driving around for ages, wasting time and gas just trying to find a spot.
Yeah.
So he created an app
Oh, wow.
that showed real-time parking availability in the area.
Wow. So he basically turned his own frustration into a business opportunity.
Exact.
It's pretty inspiring.
And that's what the source is trying to get us to see,
Oh, yeah.
Problems are everywhere.
Uh-huh.
The key is to start paying attention to look for those little annoyances.
Okay.
Those inefficiencies that make you think there has to be a better way.
Well, it's like being a detective for everyday problems.
Yeah, kind of.
But the source also mentions this idea of scalability.
Right.
How does that fit in?
That's a crucial point.
Okay.
A solution might be brilliant, but if it only works for a handful of people, its earning potential is limited.
I see.
The source uses the example of a local restaurant which serves a specific area.
Right.
It might be amazing, but its growth is limited by its physical location.
Yeah.
Then they contrast that with a franchise model like McDonald's, which can be replicated almost anywhere, reaching a far larger market.
Ah, so it's not just about the problem itself, but how many people you can reach with your solution.
Right.
That makes sense.
And the source takes it a step further, suggesting that the ultimate form of scalability is an online solution.
Okay.
Think software online courses, digital products. They have the potential to reach millions of people without being limited by physical location.
Right. The internet really has changed the game when it comes to solving problems and creating value.
For sure.
But okay, let's be real for a second. This all sounds great in theory,
Yeah.
but actually building a business around a solution, that sounds daunting.
Absolutely. Starting and running a business isn't easy.
Yeah.
There's definitely a learning curve. But the source wisely emphasizes that the goal isn't to be chained to your business 24/7.
Right.
It's not about creating another job for yourself.
So we're not talking about another side hustle here.
No.
We're talking about building something sustainable.
Yes.
Something that can actually give you that freedom we're all craving.
Exactly. The source talks about the importance of automation and delegation.
Okay.
It's about creating systems that can run smoothly, even without your constant attention. For example, let's say you're selling a digital product online.
Okay.
You could automate the delivery process using email marketing software. When someone buys your product, they automatically get a series of emails delivering the content and providing additional support.
That's a great example. It's like building a machine that works for you, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And speaking of freedom, the source mentions a choice you face once you've got this problem-solving machine up and running.
Right.
What is that?
Right. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
You've poured your time and energy into building a solution, a business. Now you have options. Do you continue to run it, reaping the rewards of your hard work?
Okay.
Or do you consider selling it, potentially cashing in on the value you've created?
That's a tough call. I can imagine both paths having their own appeal.
Yeah.
But either way, you're in a much different position than just grinding away at a job you might not even like.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the ultimate point the source is making. It's not actually about the money itself. The money is just a tool, a symbol. What we're all really searching for is freedom.
Yeah, the source really drives that home. It's not about like mansions and sports cars, though those can be nice perks.
Right.
It's about freedom to live life on your own terms.
Yeah.
You know, no more stressing about bills, no more feeling trapped in a job you hate just to make ends meet.
Exactly. Financial freedom gives you choices. Options to pursue your passions, spend time with loved ones, travel the world, whatever brings you joy. You know, money becomes a tool to support the life you want, not the thing you're constantly chasing.
So if we're putting this all together, it sounds like the equation for wealth isn't about working harder or longer hours. It's about shifting our focus from chasing money to chasing problems.
Yeah.
Finding solutions and creating value for others.
You got it. And it's important to remember, as the source highlights, that time is our most valuable asset.
Right.
It's finite. We can't get it back.
Yeah.
Are we spending our time wisely working towards our goals? Or are we letting it slip away on things that don't truly matter?
That's a powerful thought. It really makes you reevaluate your priorities, doesn't it?
It does.
So we've unpacked a lot here.
We have.
But the source leaves us with one final thought-provoking question.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
Do you remember what it was?
It asks what problem in your life or the lives of those around you could be worth solving.
Oh, that's so good.
What would it take to create a solution that brings value to others?
Such a good question, right?
Yeah.
It's a call to action for all of us listening to stop just consuming information and start applying it, to look at the world around us not with frustration, but with curiosity, to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities.
It's almost like a mental switch flips when you start thinking this way. Instead of complaining about things, you're asking, how can I make this better? Or what solution could I create?
And that shift in perspective is where real change happens. The source reminds us that those self-made billionaires we talked about didn't just stumble upon success. They saw a need, a problem that others were ignoring, and they dared to create a solution.
Exactly. Think about it. Maybe the next billion-dollar idea is hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to see it. Maybe it's something you're dealing with right now, something that seems like a minor annoyance to everyone else. But you see the potential, the impact it could have if solved on a larger scale.
That's what's so exciting about this whole idea. It really empowers us to take control. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. Don't underestimate the power of your own observations.
Yeah.
Pay attention to those little frustrations, those moments where you think there has to be a better way.
Because those moments, those are the whispers of opportunity. Those are the seeds of innovation, of change, and yes, even of wealth. The path might not be easy, but as we've learned today, the rewards can be life-changing. So go out there, be curious, be problem solvers. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next success story we feature right here in the Deep Dive.
See you next time.